Hello, everyone. How is it going? Today, we have with us Marc Brookland, founder and president of SEO Locale, a premier digital marketing agency in Philadelphia. Hello, Marc. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you for taking out time. Uh, uh, doing well, same as you, staying home, staying safe.
hmm
Well,
Yeah, it's been a little bit a different change of pace, but we all had to adapt, and I think we're doing okay.
definitely. Well, today we're doing something different. We will be doing a training session. In fact, Marc will be doing a training session on local SEO for us. Well, thank you, Marc, for doing that, taking out time. But before we, give you the control of the screen and you start your presentation and training, it would be great if you could introduce yourself for our audience.
Sure. I'm Marc Brookland. I am the founder and CEO of SEO Locale. We're a full-service digital marketing agency located in Philadelphia. We primarily focus on web design development and search engine optimization. The majority of our businesses are small businesses throughout the tri-state area. We do have clients throughout the rest of the U.S., Chicago, LA, Florida, Texas. So we do have some partnerships who feed us clients as well, who we collaborate with in other capacities.
Right, right. Well, Marc, since you work with a lot of local businesses, so I think this is one question which, I would like to ask you. I mean, during this situation, how are the local businesses responding and how is the consumer behavior?
Oh, well, I think that the businesses who are allowed to continue to operate are doing the best that they can. There's obviously a lot of precautions that have been put in place that they need to follow. A lot of clients have been forced to cut back as much as they can in terms of their spend because they're trying to do what's best, not only for them, but their employees, the people who they really care about. So it's certainly been a bit of a transition. We've been doing the best that we can to support our clients who have continued to work with us, clients who have been forced to suspend services due to the circumstances, and also any business throughout the local area that we can help. We've been offering different services through social media and other platforms at no charge. So I think the businesses have been doing well. We've had a lot of people taking advantage of our offerings. I see a lot of the community coming together and really trying to help each other and support the small businesses as much as they can. And I think that everyone's going to come out just okay when this is over.
Right, right, right. Well, Marc, I will not hold you long. You can take control of the screen and let's do this.
Okay. Can you see that okay?
Yeah, I can see that. Okay. I think I just need to. Yeah, it's fine.
All right, great. So what I want to focus on is local SEO. I think given the current state that we're in, it's more important than ever. And what building a successful local search campaign looks like. And in order to do that, we really have to go through the entire process from start to finish. So what does that look like? What our process looks like is, first and foremost, we have to do the proper keyword research. That includes doing the competitor analysis, where we can identify what your competitors are doing, what has been working well for them, what keywords they're targeting for, how are they targeting those keywords. It's really important to figure out what's working and what's not when you're identifying these keywords. And this phase of the campaign is really the most important phase because it's going to lay out the groundwork for the rest of your campaign going forward. These keywords are going to be how you make decisions on what's working and what's not working. So if this part of the strategy is messed up, then the entire campaign is going to be messed up. So it's really important that you spend the proper amount of time identifying what keywords are really important for you and building that strategy around them. A lot of times when we speak to clients, we say that like, oh, this keyword is the perfect keyword. If I can get ranked for this keyword, my business would be great. But a lot of times what we find in our research is there's not really many people searching for that key term. And it kind of comes as a shock. But the nice thing about data is it doesn't lie. So it's really important that you do your due diligence and do the research to identify the ways that people are searching for your keyword, are searching for your products or services, and also which of those keywords have the highest volume that you're going to be able to make a return on your investment. You're going to be able to see the difference once you build out your campaign. It's also really important when you're building out a campaign that you are focusing specifically on the area that you service. A lot of people don't know is that you can sort of geofence your campaign without actually having a specific geofencing type of mechanism. And how you do that is by adding what's called a local modifier. So for example, if I am selling SEO services and I want to create a local campaign to strictly the Philadelphia area, I might want to target something like SEO Philadelphia or SEO services in Philadelphia. Those types of keywords still have volume. And although it might not be as high as something like SEO, there's still a lot of search volume. And that particular person is going to be much more targeted towards who I want as a client and who I want to reach out to me. So by adding these different local modifiers and being a little bit more specific, although that keyword might have a little bit less search volume, your conversion rate is going to be much higher because you're targeting a more specific person. There's a lot of different tools that you can use to help identify what these keywords are. One that I like to use that is my personal favorite is SEMrush. However, that is a paid tool. Not everyone may have access to that or may want to pay for that tool, which I totally get. But luckily, there are other tools you could use that are absolutely free of charge. Uber Suggest is probably the next best option. That's generally a free tool offered by Neil Patel, and it pulls pretty similar data. And then there's Google's Keyword Planner, which is through the AdWords platform. However, unless you are an actively paying campaign, they don't give you great data on the search volume of keywords. So I would recommend, if you do have the money, SEMrush, Uber Suggest, Keyword Planner. Once you identify that list of keywords that you're going to want to focus on, it's important that you identify what your strategy is going to look like. So what pages are you going to be targeting that's going to help you in the overall campaign? And it could be pages that already exist on your website. It could be pages that you might have to create. It all depends where you're currently ranking, what you're not ranking for, and what keywords make sense. The goal behind this keyword mapping is grouping these keywords that make sense. So for example, if I'm targeting SEO services throughout the greater Philadelphia area, I might have different landing pages for SEO Philadelphia, SEO Bucks County, SEO Montgomery County, SEO Berks County, and break it down to those specific people in those specific areas. Or even if you want to break it down another way, you could break it down by service. So you could break it down by SEO Services Philadelphia, Web Design and Development Services Philadelphia, Pay-per-click Services Philadelphia. So you have to identify what the best strategy is for you, and a lot of that can be dictated by identifying where you're currently ranking for the keywords you're targeting and using that to help you with that map. It also helps you by avoiding what's called keyword cannibalization, which essentially is if you're targeting 2 or 3 or however many pages for the same keyword, then what you're doing is you're telling search engines that I have this page, this page, this page, and this page that are all relevant for the same keyword. But what Google and other search engines don't understand is, well, which page is more relevant? And what ends up happening is instead of ranking really well for one page, you rank really poorly for every page. And that's not going to help you because, as we all know, unless you're really on that first page and even in the top 5 results, you're probably not going to get much traction. Once you've identified what pages you're going to be targeting, it's important that you move on to the next step, which is identifying how you're going to target that specific page. And what this is called is the on-page SEO recommendations. It's everything that you're going to do within that specific page to build as much relevance as you can with Google search. And what that includes for our process is your meta title, your meta descriptions, headers, content, internal linking. All of those things are going to play a role in making sure that you're ranking as best as you possibly can. Your meta title and your meta descriptions show up in Google's search results, which can be identified in the right picture where it says SEO Locale Top Digital Marketing Agency, and right below that is your description. Those are two of the most powerful things when it comes to your on-page SEO optimizations. What you're doing is you are sending signals to search engines that these are the keywords that I should be found most relevant for. These are the keywords that I want this page to rank for. So it's important to try and include the keywords that you're targeting throughout your meta title and descriptions. Your headers and the content, no one wants to have a lot of content on their website. And everyone says, I don't read the content. No one reads the content. And in my opinion, I agree 100%. Unfortunately, it doesn't matter because what Google says matters. And Google wants content, and they want good content. So the next picture that I have to the right, just below that, an example of what we have as headers and content. The headers are the bolded blue, and the content is just below it. So it's important that you identify, this is the keyword I want to target. It has a lot of volume, and it's really important for me. I want to Google that key term. Who are the people that are showing up first, second, third, fourth, fifth? How much content do they have? What's their content strategy? What is the keyword density? In other words, how many times are they using specific keywords or phrases throughout that content? And that's going to be what I want to replicate, or even go a step beyond that and do better, because the goal is to beat them out. So you have to go above and beyond. And that's where the competitor analysis really plays a role. SEMrush also has a very good and helpful competitor analysis tool when it comes to content, which is another reason that I really like SEMrush. The last thing is the internal linking, which might be a little bit harder to see, but right under where it says, why do I need digital marketing, under the content, the highlighted blue that says SEO services, that's an internal link. And where that link is going is a landing page that we feel is going to provide more value to the user. And what we're also doing is sending proper signals to search engines that this landing page is really relevant for SEO services. So that's the idea behind a proper internal linking strategy. You want to make sure that you're passing what's known as link juice or SEO power throughout the entirety of your website so that all of your pages rank well and Google is indexing all these pages, crawling all these pages regularly. A big question that we often get is, how can you target multiple locations when you're running a local campaign? And it's a very good question, and it's not that easy. It's really important that you're unique in your content, that you research the target areas that you want to hit. And why you're doing that is because the content that you are going to be, that user is going to land on, it should be specific to them. That's the key when you're creating a hyper-localized campaign. it's very difficult to write about the same exact thing over and over and over again for all these different locations that you're targeting. So an easy way to do that is think of, okay, I'm from this area. I grew up in this area. This is the area that I serve. I know what people in Bucks County want to hear about when I talk about SEO services. I know what business owners in Montgomery County are missing, what their pain point is. So I have a specific thing that I want to talk about that I believe is going to be the pain point that hits that specific user. Because these different landing pages are going to be what pops up when that specific user is searching for your product or service. I don't have the same landing page for people in Bucks County, Philadelphia, Montgomery County. I have a different landing page and a different landing page experience that is speaking to those three different groups of people. So that's a big thing that a lot of clients don't always understand. And it doesn't always have to be so spammy or in your face. In other words, you don't need to have in your main navigation every single landing page that you have. It's not necessary to do that. So you can always, excuse me, I'm sorry. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Okay, so back to the PowerPoint. As I was saying, you don't have to have all these different landing pages built throughout the website or so in your face. They can be landing pages that are accessible for the user, that are relevant for the user, that makes sense for the user. And that's how you avoid things like doorway pages or getting any type of penalties from Google. Backlinking is one of the most complicated things to do when it comes to local search. And it is also one of the most important ranking factors for SEO. It's very easy to get yourself into trouble and get yourself penalized by Google if you're not doing the right things. So what we always recommend for backlinks is stay away from anything that's paid related. If it's any type of paid service, it's probably bad. The best way to build your backlink profile is to utilize press releases, business citations, local bookmarks, local directories, micro directories. Those are the best ways that you're going to be able to build your backlink profile and do it effectively without getting yourself into trouble. What a local citation is essentially, think of a billboard or a business card, but on the internet. So what it does is it has your business name, your website, your phone number, your address. It might have some different services that you are offering. And what that is going to do is it's going to build relevancy and it's going to build trust with search engines. So when you have the same information all across the web from all these different resources that are saying you have the same exact information, name, address, phone number, NAP, that is a big trust factor when it comes to search engines, and you're going to be rewarded for that. There are several different platforms or tools that you can use to help you monitor these things. I personally don't use them. There's things like Yext, White Pages, a lot of other different tools, White Spark, a lot of tools that you can use to help you monitor this. But if you're doing it yourself, you're probably okay. Some of the main ones are like Yellow Pages, Yelp, Foursquare, Super Pages, and it's very easy and it's not difficult to get these types of links. Another tool that you can use that is generally free to monitor what your backlink profile looks like is Majestic. Majestic.com is a partially free tool, and it will outline what your backlink profile looks like. It's a way to help identify if you have any toxic links, but also understand how strong your backlink profile is. And what it does is it uses these metrics known as trust flow and citation flow. Trust flow is, I'll start with citation flow. Citation flow is the total number of links that are going back to your website. So what does that number look like? How many people around the web are all talking about you and linking back to your website? The trust flow is, what is the strength of those links that are linking back to you? And what you can do is divide your trust flow by your citation flow to get your trust ratio. Generally, you want to have a trust ratio. I like to keep it over 0.25. The closer you are to 1, the better. Google My Business is another important piece when it comes to local search. It's something that a lot of businesses don't take advantage of or know to take advantage of. But it's very simple. It's very easy. All you have to do is Google My Business, claim your profile, and then you can add in all the information you want and you can utilize that profile. It's very easy. It's simple. Fill out as much information as you possibly can. Your name, your address, your phone number, your service areas. You can include company descriptions, the services that you're offering. You can make daily posts. You can set up daily promotions. You can make specials. An example of those is the screenshot that I have to the right. Something that's new is the COVID-19 update, letting clients know if you are in fact still open, if you've been forced to close down. So it's a very powerful tool. And all of these different posts and promotions that you put on Google, it will be visible if your Google My Business page appears on search. The user can see those and they can be very powerful. Take pictures of your office, take pictures of the outside, take pictures of your products or different work that you've done. All of that will help build trust with the user and you'll be more likely to convert into a customer. A big part of Google My Business is reviews. It's also the hardest part of Google My Business. It's difficult to get the review. It's difficult to stay on top of all your reviews, responding to the reviews, good or bad. A big mistake that I always see people making is they only respond to the good reviews and they ignore all the bad ones as if they never happened. But that's not what users want to see. Bad reviews are going to happen. Everyone is going to get a bad review here and there. It's natural. And in my opinion, I think it makes you look more real to the customer. I think if someone has all 5-star positive reviews, it's almost like, oh, well, these seem kind of fake, especially if you're getting your friends and family to write reviews and they just give you the 5-star and don't write anything. So I think it's really important that if you do get a review, good or bad, you respond. If you get a good review, thank you so much for the review. Try to sprinkle in a keyword or two that you might be targeting because that's going to help build some more relevancy with search engines. And if you get a bad review, what users want to see, we're sorry you had this bad experience. Could you please give us a call? Let us know what we could do to help you with this issue. You want the user to know that if they do move forward with you and something does go wrong, you're going to do everything you can to make it better. That's what users really want to feel. They want to feel comfortable. There is also a paid local platform that you can take advantage of. It's fairly new. It's called Google Local Service Ads. And where this differs from your regular Google AdWords is, number one, it's only available for specific industries. My example on the right is locksmith industry. It is also not a pay-per-click program. It is a pay-per-lead program. So you only pay if someone calls you. There is also a reimbursement program. If someone calls you and they call you, they're not relevant to your business, they called you asking for something else, or it didn't make any sense at all how they even found you, maybe it was a mistake click, Google will actually reimburse you for that click. And I know that sounds too good to be true, but I actually have experience with Google managing my clients' local service ads, and they have reimbursed it. So I know that they actually do that if you can prove that you had a legitimate faulty call. They also have this nice little Google guarantee that you can see on the right, which is just another big trust factor when it comes to users, because what people think is Google is everything. And if Google says it, it must be true. So if you have that little Google guaranteed check mark and you're showing up, then that's something that's really powerful for Google's. The tricky part is going through the background check, which is required for all businesses who enroll in Google Local Service Ads. It does take time to go through the process and get your profile set up. Especially now, I have a couple clients who are trying to enroll and they're having a lot of difficulty getting responses from the background check side of things because things are so crazy and backed up right now. But there is a little bit of a trick to it. And if I get in trouble for saying this on video, we'll go from there. But when you go through the background check, it'll ask you for 2 background checks. One will be a personal background check of the business owner, and the other will be a background check of the actual business itself. Now, you're supposed to get a background check for not on the business side for not only yourself, but all of your employees. If you sign up for this, do not say that you have employees. You are the only person, so that you only need 1 background check for you and 1 background check for you. Otherwise, it's going to be a huge pain in the ass getting a background check from all of your other employees. It's not worth it. Just say you have 1 field worker. Trust me, you're better off. I included the link to the Google Ad Local Services ad for anyone who might be viewing. You can go there and you can check it out. Easy sign up. So that concludes everything that we do at SEO Locale for local SEO and what our strategy looks like. That's really what the process looks from A to Z. That's everything that I would recommend. So if there's any questions, happy to answer them. There's my contact information. I'm always available.
Thank you, Mark. An interesting presentation, and surely some things which a lot of our viewers will learn from this. I'll definitely, hold you back and ask you a few questions. But before I start with the questions, I think based on the flow of your presentation, there are a couple of points which I would like to add for our viewers. We started with the keyword research. I think one thing which a lot of people sometimes miss or complicate is that when they're doing the keyword research, they complicate it too much, that which keywords to take and which not. And you said that a very good strategy is seeing what the competition is doing, because at the end of the day, it's not us who are thinking that this is what people are searching. You need data. Also, one thing which people get wrong is they most of the times they look at the volume of keywords, which obviously it is important, because if people are searching more for that keyword, it is valuable. But sometimes also, based on the business, what you should look at is sometimes a long tail keyword based on the service obviously has a more ROI or revenue value for that particular business as compared to maybe a direct or a short um, keyword which maybe has more competition or has a higher volume. So I think that is one thing which I see a lot of people missing out on. Obviously it depends on the business, but I think that is something which people should look at. What do you say?
Yeah, I think it's always most important to see what keywords competitors are going after, because if they're going after it and they've been doing this for a while or they've been around for a while, it's probably something that you should be looking into as well, especially if you see every single competitor going after that keyword. There's always going to be obvious keywords to go after. SEO Philadelphia, SEO Services Philadelphia. Of course, those are searched. But there's always going to be those not so obvious keywords to look into that you're going to want to target. And I always try to steer my clients away from focusing so much on what that volume is. The volume is always an estimate. It gives you a rough idea of how many people are searching for that keyword term. But even though a keyword doesn't have any data of search volume or says that there's 0 search volume, that's only because the area that you're targeting is so small. But there are still people in that area who are searching for that service. There are, for example, if you are using, let's say, Google's keyword planner, and you are searching for HVAC services and mainline, or I don't want to say Philadelphia, but let's say mainline is an area just outside Philadelphia. It's a very big area. A lot of people try to target it. It's a well-known area. HVAC mainline may not have any search volume. But if you change your parameters to just HVAC services in the area of mainline, you're going to see there's a lot of search volume, because not everyone is searching like that. But what your local strategy does is when someone is in your target area, going back to that geofencing we were talking about, if someone is in that area and they are searching HVAC services, you're still going to be the one who's popping up, because you have sent those signals and created those signals with Google. This company is really relevant for HVAC services in mainline. Look at this page that's talking all about their HVAC services servicing the mainline area.
Right, right, absolutely. And also, looking at the competitors solves a lot of issues sometimes, even in your keyword mapping. If you have multiple locations, sometimes, different locations for a same service, competitors would be targeting different kinds of pages. So even for the keyword mapping, analyzing competition sometimes solves a lot of questions which maybe you might not have looked at.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, research is key. You need to have the research. You need to have the data. I mean, it's like any business or anything that you do. No one just does anything without thinking about it. People need to have some type of strategy or some type of game plan. Businesses make decisions based on data and based on the information they have at hand. What we're going through right now, the government is trying to make decisions based on data and based on the information they have at hand. In fact, they're trying desperately so hard to get more data so that they can make better decisions. So the more data, the more information that should really help dictate your decision making and what type of keywords and landing pages to target and create and go after.
Right, right. Also, Mark, you talked about the importance of citations and business listings in local SEO. I totally agree. The more number of times you are, having your name, address, phone number, obviously it adds value. But does that mean, according to you, do you give more value to a citation for local SEO as compared to a guest post?
Well, I think I'm not ever one to say that this is more important than that, or this is more important than the other thing, because it's my opinion that digital marketing is not just SEO. Digital marketing is not just paid advertising. Digital marketing is not just social media. All of these platforms play a role together in building an overall successful strategy. So when it comes to link building, I think it's important to have a combination of all of those different things. It's important to reach out to other websites and say, I have this piece of content you might be really interested in. It's important to interact with those other types of websites. It's important to be a part of micro directories or hyperlocal directories. It's important to build out local citations. All of those things are really important. It's important to do press releases. So one being more important or more valuable than the other, I don't really see it that way. I think they're all important, and you should be doing all of them, and you should have a nice mix of everything. Because if you are strictly doing one thing, I think that actually hurts you. Because Google's saying, like, you're only doing this one piece of the overall strategy that we're looking for.
Right, right. Also, Mark, I mean, for local SEO, how do you plan that, mix in link building? I mean, do you have, kind of a formula, or do you look at the competition and analyze their link profile and then say, okay, fine, I'll invest so much time or effort in, let's say, a guest post, a press release, or a citation? How do you do that?
It's definitely a combination of things. I mean, there is a list, of course, of I'll say blue chip citation sites, and you can pull them from pretty much anywhere. And it's very important that you build a profile on those platforms, and they're very reputable. They're well known. They even pop up in Google searches when people type in brand names. So it's important that you are building profiles on those key citation sites. How often you build them, don't overdo it. Build a few this week, a few the following week, skip a week, do more the next week. The goal is everything looks natural. When it comes to looking at competitors, 100%, you're going to want to look at this competitor is constantly ranking number 1, 2, 3 for all of these keywords that I'm ranking for. What's their profile look like? Where have they found that they're getting backlinks from? Maybe there's a resource that has a ton of broken links, or they are always posting all this content from third parties that are offering great information for their users. So that's something that you can definitely take advantage of as well. So it should certainly be a combination of the two of those things. I think that those blue chip citations are a necessity to build that trust with search engines that you are a legitimate company and here's all of my information. But also getting those other types of links, including no follow links, user generated links, sponsored content links. You want to have a nice mix, and the best way to do that is to do those third party guest posts, reaching out to other webmasters, seeing how you can diversify your profile as best as possible.
Right. Also, reviews are important, and you told us the importance of reviews. As an agency, are you following or using a strategy or a tool that's helping the clients get more and more of reviews?
There are a couple things that we do. Actually, what your Google My Business page has is called a short link or a short name. And you can take that link and you can easily email it to whatever customer that you are working with. And they can easily just click the button and write a review for you. So Google is also trying to help make it as easy as possible for you to get reviews. We do a lot of review email campaigns for our clients. We also have created our own tools that help generate new reviews. It's called Notified Proof, which we implement in all of our clients who work with us, where you can sort of solicit reviews without even having to do anything. As long as they're on your website, they'll see it pop up and you can make a review. So we do have a couple of different strategies in place where we do our best to try and get as many reviews as possible for our clients.
Right. Also, you talked about a complete digital marketing strategy, social media. How do you, for local businesses, how do you leverage social media? Like any example or case study which you remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do think that everything plays together. And even though social media is not directly impacting your SEO, it is going to impact your business. And it does indirectly affect your SEO, because the people that are coming in from social media, the way that they're interacting throughout your website, I think that matters. Google wants to see that people are spending time on the website, that they're clicking through, that they're going through the proper channels, and that they're not just going to the website and bouncing right away. They want to see that you have a good user experience. I think social media is incredibly important for local businesses, and we have several strategies for clients where we run hyper-localized campaigns for them, and that includes interacting with community groups, interacting with different pages that are throughout their local community, whatever county they're in or whatever town that they're in. It's important that they're interacting as much as possible. What can we do? Just, sticking to coronavirus, because that's where we're at right now. Here's what we're doing to help other small businesses. Here's what we're doing to help the people in our community. Those are the things that people care about, and those are the ways that people really connect with the business, because that's what people are doing on social media. They're connecting with other people. They're connecting with other businesses. So what strategies that you can incorporate to connect with those people? It really should be easy for business owners to do that. It's where they're from. It's where their business is. They know the people. They know the area. If it's important to you, it's probably important to them too.
No, absolutely. And talking about local businesses, I think one beautiful thing about local businesses is taking leverage of things happening locally, because that connect helps you generate more business, be connected with your local area, because at the end of the day, those people are going to be there a long time in that area. So I definitely I agree completely with what you said. Also, Mark, a lot of our audience are going to be, agency owners. So one thing which I would want to ask before you go is, as an agency working with local businesses, what is your favorite source of lead generation? Or, from where do you get the maximum leads?
SEO. SEO, it's not even close.
Oh
Local
yeah.
search.
Yep. If you, if you have to prove that you do good SEO, you need to rank yourself on the key terms. I agree.
I encourage anyone to Google SEO Philadelphia, SEO any local area around the Philadelphia area. SEO Locale is popping up first. That I can guarantee.
Well, I mean, the reason we are having you do the presentation on local SEO also explains it. I don't think they need to Google that, but yeah, definitely, man, definitely. Well, Mark, thank you so much, for taking out the time. I'll definitely talk to you again. We'll discuss more and more SEO together. But before you go, I mean, one more question which I would want to ask you is,
Mhm.
as an SEO, what has been your biggest challenge so far? I'm sure there are gonna more and more are
Aside
gonna
from,
come, but
yeah, aside from coronavirus,
yeah, apart from coronavirus.
okay. I mean, certainly this is obviously the biggest challenge. Um, the biggest, I think the biggest challenge for me has been trying to find the right team to surround myself with. Um, it's interesting because you don't really go to school for this thing. I mean, I certainly didn't. My business partner, he didn't even go to college. Um, and they have all these classes nowadays for digital marketing and SEO, and I've had interns talk to me about these classes, and I certainly hope none of these types of people are watching, but I can't help but think, like, what the hell are they talking about? Like, why are they teaching this to kids? It's just crazy. Um, and it really, you really have to find that person who wants to learn. I always say to everyone, my clients, anyone, you don't need me to do this for you. Anyone can do it. If you want to do it yourself, here's what to do. Just do it. Why people hire SEOs is because they don't have the time for it. And that's what it comes down to. Anyone who is willing to learn and can adjust can be successful in this, and that's what's been challenging for us. I think we've surrounded ourselves with a great team. There's 8 of us, including myself and my partner, and they do a great job. And they're always reading and always asking questions. And we've certainly hired some that haven't worked out and been as great as we thought they were going to be. Um, but I guess that's always going to be part of the process. But really, for anyone who wants to start an agency, or go out on their own, or do whatever you want to do, make sure that you do your best to surround yourself with people who you think are smarter than you.
Right, right. Well, Mark, thank you so much for taking out the time. It was lovely having you, and looking forward to chatting with you again.
It was a pleasure. Thank you very much again for having me. I appreciate it.
Take care, man. Have a good one.
Yourself.
Bye bye.